Well, hello, hello, hello again. Here we go. Okay, the reading for this week continues on the topic of online journalism, and it's chapter 9 in Writing for Digital Media for Carol's book, where the topic is news as conversation. And I think more broadly, we can actually think about that as blogging as a conversation and online writing as a conversation, not as one-way communication, but as an attempt to engage others and try to stimulate interaction. It also emphasizes, the chapter also emphasizes the idea of community, and I said this before, the idea is to find your community, serve your community. If you're really good, you can create your community, but whether you create it or find it, you need to relate to your community, represent your community. Otherwise, the chapter is full of case studies in online journalism, and I'm sure you'll find all of these examples interesting and instructive. Along with chapter 9, I've also included in the assignment the afterword, which just lists the core values of online journalism. Now, this isn't a class in online journalism. Blogging is sometimes thought to be journalism, but a lot of times not. It certainly is not necessarily journalism, but you should understand what online journalism is about and what the values are about, what the profession is about, because that informs what we do in terms of writing for online media, in terms of blogging in particular. So you should at least understand what that ideal is and what it's about. Whether you adhere to that or diverge from it, you should know what it is. The other reading for this week is Camille Paglia's piece, Dispatches from the New Frontier. I wrote on the syllabus that it would be on eRes, but I realize it's actually easier to make it available via Blackboard, so you'll be able to download the PDF via Blackboard, and it's a short essay where she explains, and Camille Paglia is a well-known public intellectual. You may even have seen her on television or read some of her work in various places, but in any event, she explains and talks about her experience in writing for Salon magazine, which is one of the first attempts to do a magazine on the internet, an online magazine. And she's a very thoughtful, reflective writer, or thoughtful and reflective on the process of writing and on how it differs for online media. So I think you'll find that very intriguing and stimulating. I've also included some additional comments and remarks, some kind of lecture notes, if you like, for you to go over under the heading of remediation and the rear view mirror. And this continues, in discussing what is different and interesting about new media, particularly as a medium for writing, and how to look at it, and how it relates to the older media, how new media in a sense incorporate formats from the old media. And that's something that I really would like you to think about. And then I give you a few things to look at, which I would like you to take a look. You don't have to spend an enormous amount of time on it, but take a look at these sites. One of them is called issue.com, ISSUU. The link is there. You'll find it there. And that's a site that reproduces print media as faithfully as possible. And I give you some questions to think about as you look at that site. So I'd like you to take a look, try to take a look at some of the items there, some of the magazines, newspapers, whatever, and see what you think, and think about those questions. And you can discuss them on the discussion board. A second site that I ask you to take a look at is salon.com, Camille Paglia's site, and take a look at what that is as an online magazine, how it resembles print magazines, how it diverges and differs from print magazines. I give you a third link for an attempt to start up a new online magazine, and I ask for your feedback and I happen to know the editor of it, so would be interested to hear what you think of it. I'm not necessarily sure that it is going to be successful. So anything you have to say, positive or negative, would be of interest. And then I ask you to just take a look at some websites for various print media that you're familiar with or at least know of. For example, take a look at the New York Times website, maybe for the Washington Post or some other daily newspaper. Maybe if you have a neighborhood or community newspaper with a website, take a look at that. Take a look at a couple of magazines, like maybe, for example, Time magazine, Wired magazine, but anything that you are familiar with that you would be interested. Just take a look at them. And again, I have some questions for you to consider about how well they do the job, and to what extent are they able to make the transition, or are they stuck in the old mode. So this is something I want you to think about. And then finally, I give you links for two videos that are meant as a bit of an amusement, but also to help in your thinking as well. One is a segment from The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, where they actually go and take a look at and do a report on the New York Times. It's funny, it's also sobering and revealing. The other one is from a kind of flash movie that appeared some years ago on the internet about the looking backwards from the future at how the press ceased to be. It's called Epic. There's two versions, Epic 2014 and Epic 2015, and I ask that you take a look at least one of them. And again, very interesting, in many ways prophetic and profound thought experiment about where we might be headed. And in some ways they did, predict the general contours, if not the actual specifics, of what has been going on. So that's about it. And otherwise, I hope that you're all caught up by now. And if not, time's pretty much up. You've got the spring break now, and I do wish you a happy and restful spring break. I will be able to check in on things over the break, but actually I'm going to give some lectures and do some speaking and teaching for that week at a university in Tel Aviv. So they do have internet over there, so I'll check in on you from that distance. But I wish you all a good break, and a productive one, and a restful one. And otherwise, I'll be back. See you next time in 2 weeks. Bye.